Morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Or if you're here for the first time, just welcome. I'm back at Huntley Meadows Park where I was 2 weeks ago to shoot birds. And you can probably hear around me, there's a lot of bird activity already. Everything from cardinals to Philadelphia vireos to mourning doves. But that's not why I'm here. I'm here to shoot woodland. As you can also see around me, there's a very interesting forest, not exactly old growth, but a lot of towering maples and beeches, and some interesting wood along the sides too. But since this is a protected area, I'm going to shoot whatever I can in terms of woodland from one of the trails. So let me keep on walking, and I'll come back to you from my first location. Look at this. What the heck is he doing out here? Oops. There's one over there, one over here. But where's mommy? Where's mommy at? Mommy possum, come out wherever you are. All right, well, I don't know how much of that was on video, but there were two baby possums that came out for some reason out of the woods without their mother. I don't know where mommy is. She must be somewhere nearby, because that's what they do. So I had them right in my sights in the camera, forgot to hit record, because I'm a dumbass. So moving on now down the trail. I've turned onto the cedar trail, which goes into the woods, and we'll see if I come up with anything. I found my first composition after dealing with a bit of bug spray, or a lack of bug spray, because I forgot to put it on in the car. But I found my first composition here. Basically, this path leading into the woods. The woods themselves are very tangled and hard to make something out of, even though there's interesting visual elements. It's nothing cohesive to build a composition around. So I'm using the path, and the park benches to the left here to. Which basically just lends a human element, which usually is not something that I put in my photographs. But I think this case is going to work. This case is going to work pretty well. So my settings are my 24 to 105 is zoomed out to about 40 millimeters. I've got f14 to make it as much sharpness as I can. I'm probably going to wind up framing this as a panorama because of the high sky. I'll focus on the bench. f14 should get everything in acceptable focus. I'm going to put on the 2-second timer, which I think I forgot to do. Yes, it's still on burst mode from before. I believe it's a 6-second exposure, which I forgot to mention. All right, that's got some possibilities, although it still looks a little bit crooked to me. And I'm probably going to do a little straightening of the trees in post because their verticality is so obvious that being a little bit askew is just going to look weird. So I'll fix that in post if I need to. I'll fix that in post if I need to. So I'm going to take a couple more, vary my position a little bit, and then the final result you're going to see right here. Hello again from my second location. I've come across a creek that runs right along, basically straight through to the marsh. I'm standing on a culvert, as you can see. Actually, well, the path covers the culvert. So from the point of view of the photograph, I'm standing actually in the water, which physically I'm not. And what's really interesting is the way that these reflections play, especially this one tree that's to the right. How those reflections play as a leading line from the log here to the trees and then to the scene beyond. I'm probably going to wind up cropping a lot of that dead sky at the top, but I might want to keep that log just because it anchors, I think, the composition to the bottom of the frame. I'm also going to have to focus this because that log is so close to me, but I'm just going to take 2 exposures. One is going to be at, they're all going to be at f13, 1/16 of a second. I might bracket that exposure just to see if I can get something a little bit more light on the trees themselves. All right, so first exposure, I'm not going to bore you with taking the whole sequence, but I'm probably just going to take 2 exposures. All right, I've just now refocused on the trees, and that might be good enough. You'll see the final result right now. This is the original version of this 2-image focus stack. The log at the bottom may actually be a distraction to this composition, so I made a square crop version without the log. This puts the emphasis on the reflecting symmetry, but what do you think? Let me know in the comments. Well, the sun is beginning to rise over the tree line, which will put a lot of more light into the forest. And that could result, depending on how the clouds are, which actually doesn't look like there are too many, that could result in rather harsh highlights and such, which would make woodland photography more difficult. So I think I want to take the trail towards the water rather than deeper into the woods, because I don't know how much longer woodland photography is going to be advantageous, whereas right now the light is shining directly across the water. I can see that from here, and that could lead to some interesting compositions of basically the shoreline of the water, because I know there's several spots where trees have flooded over, or a lot of dead trees from the river having flooded. So I'm going to head down that way, see what we get. Okay, so a little further down, as you can see, the sun is now out. And that's working to my advantage right now because I've got a really nice scene here at the edge of the marsh. You'll see that the sun is just sidelining the tree right over here and puts a nice line towards it from, going from left to right. So I'm going to take this shot here, maybe take a couple of variations. My exposures settings right now are 1/13th of a second at f13, 1/200 at ISO 200. So let me focus, grab the shot, and I'll probably take a few more, move around a little bit around here, but I really like how backlighting and sidelighting brings out the light in foliage, especially when it's a little bit wet because of the recent rain. So final result, or results, if I take more than one that I like, you'll see right here. Well, as you can see, I've switched into birding mode. The sun is out, so it's a little bit too harsh at this point for woodland. Although I see a couple of spots that in different light will probably make a decent composition. But at this point now, I'm going to do a little bird photography. In fact, I've already shot a couple of great blue herons and a bluebird that were bopping around. Well, the bluebird was bopping around, the herons were just standing there. And if and on my way down along the boardwalk, I'll see what other bird images I can catch. Whatever I get, and I've already gotten, we'll see right now. I've got a possibility here of a landscape shot. You can hear and see. It's getting pretty crowded, but I've got an interesting scene of these 3 trees backlit with their foliage, and against the reflections of the woods behind them on the water. So I'm going to turn the reflection around, the polarizer around a little bit, see what it does with the reflection. So it's a little better. I'm going to handhold the shot because I don't want to upset everybody. So my exposures, 1/25th of a second, ISO 100, f5.6. Well, I thought it was done birding for the day, but then a promontory warbler showed up. I had the wrong lens on my camera. The time I switched it out, the warbler was gone. But in any case, I'm glad you stayed with me this far, if you're still watching. Those of you who are new to my channel and haven't already subscribed, please do so. Hit the subscription bell and the notification button that's right down there, so the next time I upload, you'll see my content right away. I got recognized for the first time from somebody who's seen me on my channel, so I guess I'm doing something right. And hopefully I'll keep doing more right. So let me know what you think in the comments below. And until the next time I see you, bye.